Hello, my creative and crafty friends. This is Gloria Plunkett with designsbygloria.com, here to share with you this cute quilled card, Quilled. This little circles here is called quilling, and I'm going to show you how to create one. I made these for my fabulous downline who had amazing sales last month, so this is going in the mail, or has gone in the mail. This is just an extra one that I created, and I'm going to make one more to show you how to create your own. So we're going to start off with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock that I've scored at 4 1/4, which is half of the cardstock page. I'm using the Sale-A-Bration, the 2021 fall celebration set called Counting Sheep. Is that not adorable? So sweet and so cute. I love it. And this is a freebie when you order $50 or more, as well as these coordinating dies to go with this stamp set from Stampin' Up! Right now. And the other stamp set I'm using is this Beauty of Friendship. Use whatever you have on hand. I'm just showing you what I'm using on my project. I've already stamped and die cut my little lamb here. And I've colored the hooves in the light basic black Stampin' Blends and the light petal pink Stampin' Blend for the little face and the feet. I didn't color anything else because really they're white, so we're going to cover that up anyway, so it doesn't matter. I've stamped the greeting on 5/8 inch by 1.5 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock using the stamp set Counting Sheep. And it's this sentiment right here. It says, "You're amazing." And I stamped that on Memento Black with Memento Black ink. So there's that. Those are already stamped. I've got my piece of cardstock. I've used just a piece of maybe 1 3/4 by 6 inch piece of scrap cardstock that I took my paper snips and just kind of made a little wave here on there. So you can see this is different than that one because I can't find that one that I made previously that I used on my other projects, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go ahead and use this one here. So I'm going to add that to my piece of cardstock. I'm going to open up my Pear Pizzazz Classic ink from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to ink it up using my Stampin' Blends. So I'm just going to grab a little ink here. And I thought I had a piece of scrap paper. Yeah, I do. So I'm just going to tap it off a little bit here so that I don't get big blotches on here. Actually, what I want to do here is this way. So I'm going to just use my blends and come in. And give it some green color for the grass. Add a little bit more ink. Tap it off and come back in again. There we go. That creates my grass background. I'm going to set this aside. Close up the Pear Pizzazz ink and open up my Balmy Blue Classic ink, and using my Balmy Blue, I just have one like for all greens, all blues, all reds, and so forth. So I'm going to tap off again. I'm going to put this at the top because I don't want to go over my fold line. And then just coming with my blue and fill in the sky here, all the way down to the grassy area. Make it as dark or as light as you want. I want to make it look like there's kind of little puffy clouds, so I'm not hitting every single spot there. And there you go, simple as that. We've got a background. Okay, so now we've got our card base ready to go. And then we've got our stamped images ready to go, but I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to show you first how to create how I did the little lamb. First, let me show you how to quill a piece of paper. I used regular old copy paper for this. It's going to need extra postage anyway, but I found that if I use my Stampin' Up! Cardstock, it was a little too thick. So I went ahead and used some regular old copy paper for this cute little flower here. I took a piece of copy paper and I used my, what is that name of that color? Polished pink. I don't know what happened. I lost my memory there for a second. And I colored the front and the back with my polished pink ink and Stampin' Blend. And then I did the same thing with the green. I used my green Stampin' Blend, a piece of regular white copy paper. I inked it up and blended it on my piece of copy paper. I then took the strips and cut them down at about 1/8 of an inch each. If you've ever, I don't know if you've ever done quilling, but I'm going to show you. This little needle here has a, oops, let me get in focus here in frame, a little slit on one side. The rest is just regular metal, but there's a tiny slit in the one side here. And what I'm going to do is slit my paper inside that tiny little slit so that it kind of holds my paper. So I've got it in there. And now I'm going to roll this paper so that I'm holding my paper at the bottom here. I've got my hands up here. I'm kind of holding the paper in place because when I roll it, I want it to stay right on that same, let me bring it up a bit, right on that same little track so it doesn't go off and on. So I just stick my thumb there on the back, pull it off, and you've got that tiny little hole right there. Now I didn't want mine that tight because I wanted it to look like little curly cues on my card. So I kind of pressed a little, but then I kind of let it go. So I made it a little tight, then I let it go. Then I brought in my liquid adhesive and just dabbed a little bit on there. And just kind of rolled it around till it stuck on itself. And so I made a bunch of these little curly cues. The copy paper is 5.5 inches wide, and then just 5.5 inches long by however wide you want it. Then like I said, I cut it in 1/8 inch strips. I did that for the pink copy paper I colored, for the old olive copy paper I colored, and for the white copy paper, just plain. I didn't add anything to that. They can expand if you want them to be more wide. I didn't want mine to be that wide, so I went ahead and just kind of curled them up, and I kind of made various widths of the copy papers. You can see like some are looser, and then some like these here. Let me put these on my hand so you can see them better. Some are looser and some are tighter. Either way, it doesn't matter. Whatever you like best for your projects. So once you have all your little yo-yos, I don't know what to call these, your little quilled pieces done, you're going to gather your pieces of rolled paper, and then we're just going to go ahead, and here's the sample, and we're just going to go ahead and add little bits of glue, and then I'm going to find one that kind of fits in any particular area here. So that one's a little smaller. I'm going to add some glue there. See if I can. Okay. Then I'm going to add some. Then I decided to add a little tree here on the side. So I brought back my cardstock. I opened it up and I inked up the tree stump from the Beauty of Friendship, this piece here, and then I'll stamp the leaves with this little stamp here using Old Olive. So I've got some soft suede for the trunk of the tree. I'm going to ink up my stamp. Just gently tapping because I don't want to squish it in there or over ink it. And I'm going to bring it over here to the side. I'm just going to go straight down, hold it for a second or two, and then pick it back up. For the tree, I've got this stamp set here. I'm going to close up my soft suede ink. And I'm going to open up my Old Olive. And just like I said, just lightly tap because I don't want to get any ink on the rim of the cardstock. So I'll just bring that in here and just stamp right over the trunk so that the background is covered in green. Although I'm going to add some quilled pieces to the tree to kind of keep in the same theme here of my quilling. I'm pulling out my little green pieces from my plate over here that I've already created. Okay, I'm just about there. And then again, I'm just going to add my ink. Just add my quilled pieces, not my ink, my liquid adhesive, I apologize. And then add my quilled pieces and just kind of put them around the tree. I don't have to have it be completely covered because I've got that green ink on the back, which is why I did it. So we could have just a little more dimension with the quilled pieces, but not 100% covered for every little spot. Okay. And I'll just add them here and there. My ink will, my adhesive will dry clear and matte, so I don't have to worry about any glossy or peek through on this. A couple more. Bringing a couple more here. And now I've got my little tree done. Then I said, well, it kind of looks a little plain, even though I am going to put the lamb and the greeting here. So I wanted to add a little flower. So what I did is I used a pink quilled piece of copy paper. I took 2 of the green quilled pieces. Get one here without getting mine. And then for the leaf, I just took it. Let me get rid of that. I just took it and squeezed it on one side so that it create that kind of an oval. Oops. That oval shape. So I did that to both leaves. So I just pulled it and made it into an oval piece, just like that. So I put my little flower down, my little flower head first. And I stuck it down on my card front. Held it down for a second or two so I could take. And then I figured out where I wanted my leaves. I took those quill pieces and added it to each side, making sure the pointy part was in the top, pointing to the top. So I think I'm going to add another flower. I'm going to make this a little lower. Put that here. Take my quilled piece, pinch it on one side to make it look like a teardrop. Take another one, pinch it on one side to make it look like a teardrop, and then add some liquid adhesive so I can just adhere them down on my card. Okay, so I got that done. Now I need to figure out where I want my little lamb to be on my little greenery. And then my little greeting, I probably want it to be about right there. And these little quilt pieces are supposed to be like little clouds around the greeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of my greeting. And I'm going to add that here, straight as I can get it. Then again, I'm going to add a few of my quilled pieces to my project right here. So take one, put it here. Then I'll take a couple more and add them around. I just thought that was such a cute little card project here. And I hope that you will try this. The place where I got my little quilling tool was at Hobby Lobby. So any craft store, and it's just called a quilling tool with that little slit right there on the little tip, and everything else is reg. Okay, so now that I got where I want my greeting to be, I'm going to add my little lamb, and I am going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back so that it pops up just a bit. So, I love these little lambs. I think they're so adorable. Remove the backing. I'm going to place my little lamb on the grass like she's leaping. And I'm done. Is that not just the cutest thing ever? Can you imagine all the different little, if you've got different stamp sets of creatures or animals in your stash, you can add them. On the inside, I just inked up a little bit of the green and stamped another little lamb looking out from the inside. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope that you'll give it a try and that you'll share with us on our Splitcoaststampers page your projects that you've created. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll check me out at designsbygloria.com for some more inspiration and fun projects. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.